Okay, you may want to pause this because we're going to be working with our Easy Video Producer autoresponder. We're also going to need Notepad open, and we're also going to need our cPanel open because we're going to be working with all three relatively quickly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our form so that it will, on our website, so that people can get redirected to that website that we want them to get redirected to. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on eResponder. And what we need to do is we need to scroll down campaigns and click on Master Autoresponder. And then we're going to need to scroll down again, and we're going to have to select our campaign that we just set up. And in my case, it's Telecommute Solution, and go to Campaign. Now, once we do that, we want to check our thank you page. This is the page where people will be redirected once they fill out the form on our site. So we just want to make sure that this is where that we want them to be directed to. Okay? And if you want to change it, or if it's okay, just click on Update. I recommend to get in the habit of saving and updating all the time. This way you don't have to waste time and just keep recreating stuff that you already created. Just a note. Okay, so we like the redirect that we're going to do. So now we're going to get our sign-up form. So what we need to do is we need to come over on the left here to Miscellaneous Functions. And what we want to do is generate customer sign-up form. Now, I don't know why the system does this, but disregard everything you see in here. It doesn't matter if you select all, deselect all. It doesn't matter. You're going to get all the form code anyway. And don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily edit this form code. Now, I want the first name, and I want it visible, which means it's going to tell the person that please enter your first name on my form. I want it mandatory. The last name, I'm going to have it visible, but I'm not going to make it mandatory. Mandatory means that they cannot move on to your forward redirect until they complete that field. The email address is always visible, and it's always mandatory. And then what I would like is the phone, and I want that mandatory as well. And the reason why I want the phone mandatory as well is for the simple fact is that after a few weeks of people taking part of the free work from home system, I want to be able to call them up, introduce myself, say hi, and ask them how the system is working out for them, because there might be some confusing steps for somebody, and if I can simplify this system, I want to. Because I want to make this system as simple and easy and duplicatable for everybody as possible. That's the whole idea about this system. So now that we have everything selected that we want, we just simply scroll to the bottom and we click Generate, and that's going to generate our code. Now the easiest and best way to copy this code, is I do anyway, it's easier for me, is you put your cursor on the left hand side of that left arrow. And then you're going to scroll down to the bottom of it. And then you're going to hold the shift key down on your keyboard. And you're going to right mouse click to that right arrow. And it's going to highlight all that text for you. And then we just simple right mouse click, copy. And we're going to go to our notepad and we're going to paste. Now I know this looks really complicated to some people, but believe it or not, it isn't. Anyhow, here we go right here. This is the field. First name, last name, email address, address, city, state, and all the way down. Okay? Now, like I said, I only want the first name, the last name, the email address, and the phone number. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag down to phone number. And then here's a way to double check to make sure you're not deleting anything that you want. Oh, see here, I got the email. I didn't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from here and go back over, because we don't want to delete the email. So we're going to address. There we go. And we're going to go over. And we're just going to want to double check to make sure that none of the things we want are in this blocked area, and they aren't. So we're just going to hit the delete key and hit the delete key again, because there cannot be any spaces. Okay, So now we got our first name, our last name, our email address, and our phone. Looks great. And by the way, on a side note, you do not want to have a lot of fields on your form, because think about if you go to a site for the first time and people are asking you for all this information, your address, this, that, and the other thing, they're just going to go somewhere else because people don't know you enough and they don't trust you enough to give you that information. So we don't want a lot of information from the people visiting our site for the first couple of times. We just want their basic information so that we have a basic way to keep in touch with them is all. So come down here. I'm going to come down here because I don't want the facts. I don't want any of this right here, right down to messages. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on delete and I'm going to hit delete again. Now, note, this field right here is very important where it says input, submit, value equals sign up, and then the table and then the form. Those are very important to keep in there. You do not want to delete any of that because this and the above up here where the actions, which is customer ID, autoresponder, preferred format, this tells the form what to do. So just make sure that you don't ever edit any of that stuff. But you can come down here, see where it says value equals quote, sign up quote. Well, you can change that. So if you want your button to say continue or whatever you want it to say, submit. In my case, I'm going to say get system. So my button is going to say get system when we're all done. Now we did that. This is how our form is going to look. And I'm going to go to edit and then select all. And I recommend doing this because this way you get all your code in. And then you're going to go to edit and you're going to go to copy. And then we're going to go to our cPanel and we're going to go to our file manager. Click go if that comes up. And we've been working on our index.html. So we need to check index.html and we need to go into our HTML editor and then click on edit. And then we're going to scroll down and find out, you choose where you want your form. You can do all sorts, you can put your form in all sorts of different places on your website. I'm just giving you an example here. Now I want my form to go in here, so I'm going to type in insert form. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on save. We're going to go back to our file manager. We want to make sure the index.html is checked. Go up to our code editor. And we want to click on our favorite button, find or search. And we're going to type in insert, find next. And then here we go. It says insert form, so we know that's the place where we want our form to insert. And as long as our cursor is blinking in between the two arrows, we're going to just click on paste. And there's our form. And we're going to come up here and we're going to save changes. We're going to go back to File Manager. We're going to go back to HTML Editor. Click on Edit again. And now you'll see, here's our form. And see where my button says Get System? So now we have our form in place. Okay? All we have to do is go to our website. And in my case, it's www.telecommutesolution.com. And I'm going to come down here where the form is. And I'm going to type my name, Michelle Valenti, MV. That's a good one. PowerZoneTeam.com. I'll just put in that. And my phone number. And I'm going to click on Get System. And you see how I'm redirected to my site, and your form should work the same as well. So hopefully this helps you out and you have a better understanding of forms and how to add them to your site, and I'll talk to you soon.